Two things are infinite, the universe and human stupidity. And I'm not sure about the universe. Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. You've got to dance like there's nobody watching, love like you'll never be hurt, sing like there's nobody listening, and live like it's heaven on earth. You know you're in love when you can't fall asleep because reality is finally better than your dreams. You only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. If you want to know what a man's like, take a good look at how he treats his inferiors, not his equals. Friendship is born at the moment when one man says to another, "What, you two? I thought that no one but myself." I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. A friend is someone who knows all about you and still loves you. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. I am so clever that sometimes I don't understand a single word of what I am saying. I believe that everything happens for a reason. People change so that you can learn to let go. Things go wrong so that you appreciate them when they're right. You believe lie, so you eventually learn to trust no one but yourself. And sometimes good things fall apart so better. Things can fall together. It is better to be hated for what you are than to be loved for what you are not. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than by the ones you did do. So throw off the bowlines, sail away from the safe harbor, cast the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. Imperfection is beauty, madness is genius, and it's better to be absolutely ridiculous than absolutely boring. There are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. Good friends, good books, and a sleepy conscience. This is the ideal life. Fairy tales are more than true, not because they tell us that dragons exist, but because they tell us that dragons can be beaten. The fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool. It is better to remain silent at the risk of being thought a fool than to talk and remove all doubt of it. Whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it is time to reform or pause and reflect. Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, today is a gift of God, which is why we call it the present. I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. The opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. The opposite of art is not ugliness, it's indifference. The opposite of faith is not heresy, it's indifference. And the opposite of life is not death, it's indifference. The man who does not read has no advantage over the man who cannot read. A woman is like a tea bag, you never know how strong it is until it's in hot water. I may not have gone where I intended to go, but I think I have ended up where I needed to be. I am enough of an artist to draw freely upon my imagination. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world. Love all, trust a few, do wrong to none, be able for thine enemy, rather in power than use, and keep thy friend under thy own life's key. Be checked for silence, but never taxed for speech. I like nonsense, it wakes up the brain cells. Fantasy is a necessary ingredient in living. A reader lives 1,000 lives before he dies, said Chojen. The man who never reads lives only one. A reader lives 1,000 lives before he dies, said Chojen. The man who never reads lives only one. Being deeply loved by someone gives you strength, while loving someone deeply gives you courage. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you are the one who'll decide where to go. It is never too late to be what you might have been. It takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to our enemies, but just as much to stand up to our friends. I'm not upset that you lied to me. I'm upset that, from now on, I can't believe you. There is never a time or place for true love. It happens accidentally in a heartbeat, in a single flashing, throbbing moment. If you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it yourself. If you only read the books that everyone else is reading, you can only think what everyone else is thinking. Love is that condition in which the happiness of another person is essential to your own. Anyone who thinks sitting in church can make you a Christian must also think that sitting in a garage can make you a car. Women and cats will do as they please, and men and dogs should relax and get used to the idea. questions are complicated and the answers are simple. You can never get a cup of tea large enough or a book long enough to suit me. Sometimes you read a book and it fills you with this weird evangelical zeal, and you become convinced that the shattered world will never be put back together unless and until all living humans read the book. All you need is love, but a little chocolate now and then doesn't hurt. Duty is in the eye of the beholder, and it may be necessary from time to time to give a stupid or misinformed beholder a black eye. Of course it is happening inside your head, Harry, but why on earth should that mean that it is not real? Today you are you. That is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. It is impossible to live without failing at something, unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case you fail by default. If you want your children to be intelligent, read them fairy tales. If you want them to be more intelligent, read them more fairy tales. The truth is, everyone is going to hurt you. You just got to find the ones worth suffering for. Love looks not with the eyes, but with the mind, and therefore is winged Cupid painted blind. Nor hath love's mind of any judgment taste, wings and no eyes figure on heady haste, and therefore is love said to be a child, because in choice he is so oft beguiled. You don't get to choose if you get hurt in this world, ... but you do have some say in who hurts you. I like my choices. The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go ... double quotes. The story so far, in the beginning the universe was created. This has made a lot of people very angry and been widely regarded as a bad move. I find television very educating. Every time somebody turns on the set, I go into the other room and read a book. When one door of happiness closes, another opens, but often we look so long at the closed door that we do not see the one which has been opened for us. I declare, after all, there is no enjoyment like reading. How much sooner one tires of anything than of a book. When I have a house of my own, I shall be miserable if I have not an excellent library. Who are you to judge the life I live? I know I'm not perfect, and I don't live to be. But before you start pointing fingers, make sure your hands are clean. The real lover is the man who can thrill you by kissing your forehead or smiling into your eyes or just staring into space ... double quotes. When someone loves you, the way they talk about you is different. You feel safe and comfortable. And when you want something, All the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. The books that the world calls immoral are books that show the world its own shame. The reason I talk to myself is because I'm the only one whose answers I accept. A wise girl kisses but doesn't love, listens but doesn't believe, and leaves before she is left. Double quotes. Dumbledore watched her fly away, and as her silvery glow faded, he turned back to Snape, and his eyes were full of tears. "After all this time, always," said Snape. You don't forget the face of the person who was your last hope